Lindsay. I'm the founder of Cabbige, and we help small farms make more money. I'm going to go through a demo of how we do that in a little bit, but first I wanted to tell you a little bit about the food system, why we're playing in it, and what we've done so far with our business. So today in the U.S. we spend about 0.5% of our food dollar, which is $1.3 trillion, on local food. And our mission is to move more local food from small growers into our mainstream food supply chain. If we were able to move that 0.5% up just a few percentage points, we would be putting a lot more healthful food onto people's plates and reducing the impact, the negative environmental impact of industrial agriculture tremendously. So that's what we're aiming to do. The way we're going to do it is we're going to get this million small farmers in the U.S. online onto a unified platform to enter in their harvest, their inventory, their sales, and their pricing data. We're going to take that data, normalize it, aggregate it, normalize it, package it, and make it available to wholesale buyers. And that's how we plan to move more of their food into our mainstream food supply chain. But it's a little bit difficult to get guys like Ken, who is actually one of our pilot customers last year, to sit down at their computer and start entering data every day. You have to kind of give them something before they're going to come to you. And what we're giving them is a business intelligence web application that helps them make more money day to day. We have a pricing tool, inventory management, and reporting that they can use to make better data-driven decisions and make more money. Last year, we piloted our pricing tool alone, and we had a handful of small farms around New England using it. Across all farms, all products that they tracked, they made 9.6% more revenue when they used the recommended price that we had over their traditional pricing. So everybody was thrilled. And we went forward last winter and built the beta version that I'm about to show you. This is the homepage that a Cabbige user would come to when they log in. And the pricing tool is really the crux of what we provide to them today, which is a recommended price for their crops as it changes throughout the course of the season. So the farmers that we work with are typically the guys and gals that you see at the farmer's market. You know, they come with their field-grown tomatoes and radishes, and crops are moving in and out of season over the course of the summer and the fall. And sometimes there's a glut, sometimes they don't have as many, and they're not entirely sure what to charge. When I asked them, they said, I just charge whatever I charged last year or whatever my neighbor is charging. And if you can imagine, that gets them into the red slowly but surely. So this is something that we have a proprietary pricing algorithm. It takes into consideration their sales velocity, their current inventory, their expected yield, and how much they've been harvesting in order to come up with an optimized price for them each day. From there, how to use this guy. Sorry, I too have a Mac and I'm not. Okay, there we go. We have inventory management. So the way that we get the information from the farmers is through this web application as well. They enter new inventory, whether it's a harvest or if they're writing down inventory. Sometimes they leave things out of the walk-in, sometimes the dog gets to it, and they want to be keeping track of their inventory. So they might have harvested 100 pounds of Mutsu apples and 50 cherry tomatoes. Click submit, and this is it. That goes into the system. It gets recorded for them, but then it also it gets factored into our pricing algorithm. It's this piece along with the sales that they record here, and it works exactly the same way. Thank you. That these are two of the main pieces of data that we use to factor their price along the way. And over time, we're able to get an idea of what's happening regionally. Today we launched this beta version in June. We have a few dozen customers around the country, but we're starting to launch in pilots with nonprofit organizations where they'll bring the farms in their network in the tens and hundreds onto the platform. Does anybody have any questions? Sure.
So in your algorithm, do you tie in any local other market pricing or the Chicago Commodities Exchange rate?
Yeah. So for this version, and this is sort of a philosophical decision, we we kept it related strictly to what that particular farm, how they were performing. And we didn't pull in, like we would pull in Chelsea terminal data for farmers in the Boston area. Most of the produce that we buy in this area comes through Chelsea and gets moved out to traditional sales channels in New England. The difficulty with that off the start is that, to me, it's a completely different product. So you see the prices come through, but that's for stuff that's grown in Mexico, and as far as I'm concerned, what my guys grow is just far and away much, much better. That said, we will be using that, we will be pulling in that data to look at pricing trends as opposed to applying it directly to their prices. Yes?
Are you dealing only in produce, or are you also dealing with meat and milk?
So right now, the algorithm is only a version for perishable produce. We are releasing a storage veg version of the algorithm in the next week or two, which I'm excited about. Eventually, I would love to work on it and version it for pork, beef, and chicken. It's been on my to-do list for 10 months, and I will get to it eventually. But the idea is that we're trying to promote biodiverse farms, and biodiverse farms have animals, so we will be incorporating that.
Are these mostly meant for like farmers market style sales? Or you also have your algorithm set for like wholesales for people selling to larger restaurants, things like that?
We do track wholesale sales and direct to consumer sales differently. If I can pull this guy back up, and the farmers can see that. I forgot to click on that. So up here. So this would be Central Square Market. If they were selling to Copa in the South End, the prices come through differently. We do track wholesale sales separately from the direct to consumer. But typically, our typical audience would be a farmer that's doing between $50,000 and $500,000 in annual revenue. So when you talk about personas, it would be somebody who relies mostly on their CSA, farmers market, farm stand. They probably have a handful, 2 to 4 restaurant customers. Yes?
Do you consider the algorithm data for a single farmer, or if they are using the same inventory, you can kind of do an aggregation and suggest them a better algorithm?
I'm not sure I understand the question.
So if there are 3 farmers selling exactly same type of chicken,
Yeah.
do you consider that how the price variation between those chicken each individual was able to get to make the whole algorithm better?
So today the algorithm looks exclusively at the individual farm's performance, so their inventory, their expected yield, and their sales velocity. What we do is we release PDFs or we send emails to our farms and say, here's what we're seeing regionally for these types of products. It is not factored directly into their price, and part of that is because we're not doing chickens, but different crops. Different farmers have different cost of production based on their type of mechanization, their type of growing method, how important that crop is to their farm. And so I couldn't come up with a way, I couldn't get my mind around how we would factor those different prices in today. Eventually we will be using it to track trends, but we wouldn't apply it directly to the price recommendation. Yes. Yes.
Now, can the farmer see what the actual store is selling their products for? Because if the farmer sees that the store is overpricing something and it's not benefiting them, now how can they somehow charge it for more or sell it for more or get money out of that?
So we don't see what we see is what the farmer sold. What the price that the farmer sold the crop to the store for. We don't end up seeing the ultimate retail price. That said, most farms that are selling to, again, we're working with people who mostly sell to independent grocers and restaurants. They have that relationship. It's a very personal relationship at this point. But no, they can't see that through our platform.
Last
Yes.
question.
Have you ever thought about making a customer-facing version of this, say for people that shop at those types of stands,
Consumers?
or even restaurants, small restaurants that are looking to buy bulk product?
Yeah, so direct to consumer, no, just not in the plan, but definitely a buyer side of the platform. So like I said, this is stage 1. where we're aggregating the data. Stage 2 is normalizing and packaging, and then we would essentially flip the view so the buyers could see what was available with the farmer's permission in their area. I think I was, yeah, okay.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.